Hi guys, Marco Forconi here from Livetraker.com. First of all, sorry for my limited English, I'm from Italy. I will try to do my best, but of course I will do several errors in grammar and pronunciation, so very sorry for this. I am not a technician, I am a musician like you. What I will show you today is my personal experience that work very well. Last things, this is not a course, okay? This is a short tutorial to share with you my personal experience with my personal method. I think it's very easy to do. It's very cheap to implement because we don't need expensive interfaces or complicated software. The first thing to do is to show my instruments, what I use to create this setup. You need any software or any computer. I use a Mac with Logic, but you can use anything. The concept we explain in this short tutorial are the same for any system, Windows, Mac, and so on. So you need a computer with a software, a simple basic audio card. I use a very basic Behringer cheap audio card. We have a MIDI out here and the USB connection. We need lights. For this tutorial I will use two kind of light. This is a 4 cob, of course, with DMX, and a little beam set. This is a Hydra beam 400. Then, of course, we need a surface, a DMX surface, a DMX control. I use this one, Styleville DMX Master 2. But of course, you can use any kind, any brand, any surface. It's okay because most of them are very similar, do the same thing. Okay, so you can choose anything you want. Master keyboard. This is the Innovation Impulse 49 that I use to input the MIDI note correspond to the DMX controller. Of course, you can use any keyboard you have, or you can use any pad controller. For example, people has pad surface with lots of these pads and use these to input the MIDI. It's the same, okay? There's no difference. I use this because I own this one, and for me it's better to have a vast number of presets that recall various scenes on various bank, as I will show you in next video. Before do anything, you will need to have the manuals of each of your instrument, okay? So, in my case, for example, I have this manual. I've printed this manual. This is related to the Styleville DMX controller. As well, I have all reference for DMX channels, controllers. Okay, for example, this is related to this cob set. Okay, and the same for any other light you will use. So before doing anything, you need to have the reference DMX table. In my opinion, it's better to print on paper, because when you are programming, you can open another windows on your computer. So better to have your simple paper for the lights, for the controller, for the reference for MIDI notes, and so on. I strongly suggest to have your table reference for DMX and manual reference for all your instrument before starting doing anything. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so now I am inside my Logic system. I remember that you can use any kind of software you have. Okay, this is not important. Now I create here, I set an audio track to have a reference. I select new external MIDI track in my case. Okay, maybe this will change on your computer, but the concept are the same. And I need to set MIDI import from my keyboard. Okay, do you remember the impulse is this one? connected by USB. I accepted all channel incoming, and MIDI out port, I use my output port on my audio card. Usually I use the 16. And this audio card, UMC, as you remember, is this one. Okay, so I am referring to this out. Of course, before start the programming MIDI to Livetraker, you need to set the scenes of your DMX controller that you have presets here with the slider to command these lights. So if I click scene 1 on bank 1, I obtain the red color. If I press the 2, is the green light, the third is the blue light, and so on. If I create a more complex effect like this, I go to the bank 3, click again the 1. As you can see, I have a different color here, and I started also the beam. If I click the scene 2, even on bank 3, okay, change the color here, change the program and the color there. Scene 3 on bank 3, orange color here, blue there, and so on. Of course, I've already created any of this before starting programming the MIDI for the Livetraker. So now we are ready to go. Okay, I just press the record button. So let's start. Okay, stop the record, and as you can see, all MIDI note in time. The best part is that I can start and see the result. Now I reset the light. So let's start now the music. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, at change, the program received the right note and change accordingly the scenes and the bank. One note at a time. And that's it. You can now export from your sequencer that MIDI track. You import that MIDI track inside your song into Livetraker, and Livetraker will send the right MIDI note to the right program on your DMX controller to obtain the effect I've done before. There are lots of benefits to use this simple system. Of course, we have a lot of limitation on this because we cannot use, for example, polyphony. We can only set one note at a time. We cannot do chords to have more effect, simply press more notes. You cannot do that, okay? It's impossible because the system will read one note at a time. If you do something wrong, you can edit your MIDI track directly on your sequencer. If you want to change your system, you simply record again a new track. In minutes, you are ready to go. As I told you before, it's a cheap system, it's a very basic system, but it's very simple, effective, and solve 19% of the band can use this system in a very good way and put a very little effort to create the MIDI track accordingly. Once again, enjoy Livetraker. Bye!